Good morning, everyone. We'll be hitting the road here momentarily, just letting the truck warm up. We got, maybe additional quarter-inch of snow overnight early this morning. That's on top of just under 2 inches here in Des Moines that we got last evening. So overall, it appears we'll be on the very low end of the forecasted snow totals. But it is bitterly cold out. The truck says -6 at the moment. There's a little bit of wind, but looking at the maps, we should see the pressure gradient start to arrive here in central Iowa any moment, which will bring with it some much stronger winds and blowing and drifting snow. Pretty much all roads in Iowa are completely covered, and the Interstate 3580 in the north part of Des Moines, essentially from the East Mixmaster to Highway 141, travel is not advised because of multiple accidents. We'll be heading north out that direction, get out into the country a little bit and see what's happening with this wind. I'm gonna hop out real quick here and brush some snow off the windows. Be right back. Decently thick gloves on, and in just a few minutes out there, my fingers are freezing. If you can double layer your gloves, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Our street usually doesn't get plowed until much later, and you can definitely see the snow's drifted in the tire tracks. After getting home from last night's video, was laying in bed, and it was about 11:30 that the wind finally arrived. hear it outside. It's not too bad. Never really is here where we live in the west side of Des Moines. But we'll see once we get out a little further what's going on. Hopefully, if you live in Iowa, you're lucky enough to stay home today. There's definitely a bit of glaze and compaction on the surface of these roads, so don't let the snowfall totals fool you. It is slippery out. Gas went back up a little bit with this impending storm. General heating demand driving up all energy. We are on Merle Hay Road here in northwest part of Des Moines. This is my least favorite hill. See, they spun out a little bit. Hopefully everyone behind me can stop. A little hard to tell where one lane is in relation to the one next to you. Poor soul out walking. thank everyone for tuning in this morning. Just hoping to give everyone a sense of what's going on, and if you live further east and south in the country, what you might expect. Latest 6Z model run of the GFS shows heaviest snow falling in Michigan, especially along the lakefront, both Michigan and the UP, the Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and then up into Ontario, Canada. They'll definitely get some decent snowfall. And of course, the winds behind to follow is really what will make this a bad travel weekend. Fortunate timing for those who maybe don't get to see family as you'd planned, or maybe that Christmas vacation, but again, we are in Merle Hay Road going north, just past the mall. I-3580 up ahead. Travel is not recommended because of several accidents here in the early morning. Starting to feel a little wind here. Didn't quite catch all of your message there coming from Colorado. I know around North Platte it's pretty bad. Saw some nasty images from the interstates in Colorado from last night. The thing about this wind is it's supposed to hang around for a couple days, not just an afternoon like you'd typically expect, as a storm system makes its way through. Line of utility trucks out there on the interstate. You can see how the interstate looks. Currently the only place in Iowa, at least last I saw, that travel is not advised. Slid there a bit. So we may just get off at the next exit. four-wheel drive is certainly activated. I'm going 30 right now. Sanitation had a little mishap there. Their garbage truck. Definitely feel the wind buffeting the truck here. We are on I-3580 westbound, north part of Des Moines. Currently going 41, 42 miles per hour. Seems to be the pace. Usually there'd be a fair number more cars out this morning, so schools are already out for Christmas break. That's good. I'm sure the kids feel gypped out of a free snow day, but not sure if you can hear it on the video, but definite wind coming out of the right here, out of the northwest. I don't particularly want to mess with that Highway 141 exit up ahead, so I'm going to get off here in Johnston. Start to see the snow in the air. It's not actively snowing. The last band went through, finished about an hour ago here in Des Moines, so this is all being lifted off the ground. Yeah, last night too, I noticed that there was, I think, the ice treatment that was put down melted things enough, and then it's just so cold that you had not quite, but sort of like a flash freeze. And then with the evening commute, everyone packing it down, and there are several areas in the metro where there's definitely a glaze of ice underneath the snow. So once again, don't let the snowfall totals fool you. It is slippery out, and you want to take your time and just be a smart defensive driver. How well the haziness comes off on camera here, but definitely a lot of snow in the air. Very fine, almost mist-like quality. Yeah, negative 40, that's it's not anything to take lightly. Wouldn't want to be out in that. Wind or no wind. So again, we're in the southwest side of Johnston, northern part of the Des Moines Metro. Where currently road conditions seem to be the worst in Iowa. Would I call it a blizzard? Not just yet. But the blizzard warning, I believe, doesn't take effect until noon. So we're currently under a winter storm warning, which I think, given the holiday and people traveling and everything, was definitely a prudent decision to issue, and I would stand behind that. Just gonna get situated here, maybe get my other device up and running for a better view of the chat, in case you guys have questions. gonna just go through some of the chat here, see what questions I can answer. Iowa is forecasted to get basically anywhere from 3 to 8 inches. It appears those totals are going to come in lighter than that. Here in Des Moines, probably no more than 2.5 inches. I don't expect that we're getting any more. Yeah, I imagine frozen pipes will be an issue. I had a subscriber last night comment that local hardware store had been sold out of insulation for plumbing, and people were resorting to pool noodles. Yeah, I'm in an F-150, do have 4-wheel drive engaged. Yeah, anytime you get water involved in cold temperatures, it's not fun. Can't imagine fighting a fire. That would be rather miserable, I'd imagine. Gas here, the ethanol blend in Iowa is $2.79 currently. Casey's does certainly have the best breakfast pizza. Good overall pizza. I might go in and get a donut. Had a bit of an upset stomach this morning, so not quite wanting any more grease. This Casey's is on the northwest side of Johnston, kind of the border of Johnston and Urbandale. Relatively new one. If this channel grows enough, I'd definitely considering approaching Casey's as a sponsorship. They're kind of the Storm Chasers food champion. So you can kind of see on the light over there, there's quite a bit of blowing snow. So hopefully they have the chocolate donut. I prefer the caramel frosting, but I will go for white frosting as well. So you all hang tight. I'm gonna go brave this wind real quick and get a small breakfast. Total snow, I think we've already gotten it here in Des Moines. Probably max 2.5 inches is what we've gotten. Doesn't sound like a lot, but once it gets blowing, it doesn't make travel easy. I know last night a fellow storm chaser, Hunter Folks, reported 3.25 inches. They're around Iowa State. They likely got a little more on top of that with the brief squall, if you can call it a squall. Really wasn't all that much that went through here between 4 and 5 a.m. this morning. So, all right, I will be right back. Didn't really realize it until putting pressure walking, but even with somewhat thicker socks on and my hiking boots, my toes are quite chilled. So I have to redirect some heat here in the truck down lower. So this cold is no joke. It's now down to -8. Time I left, we were looking at -6. So temperatures are falling. And not that anyone cares, but I did score the chocolate with the caramel frosting. I just got a notification that one or more of my tires has lost some pressure. So not too concerned. It looks like they're all dropping quite a bit this cold weather. But that may actually help with traction here. So not too concerned. If your tires were already low and it got cold, then I'd be concerned. Definitely about the worst day to try to fill them out. So this is usually about the time that a lot of folks in Des Moines would be on the highway heading into work. And obviously with the holidays and the weather, should be lighter traffic, but definitely be taking your time. Now that I'm fueled up, Casey's Donut, a swig of Pepsi, and I think we'll head out northwest here still. Thinking Highway 17 towards Madrid. And get full exposure to the wind that's coming through out of the northwest. Sunrise is basically right now. Don't know that we will see the sun today, but appreciate y'all being curious and checking in, seeing how things are. We had my very first winter live stream last night. Far exceeded my expectations. Had a total of over 20,000 views. I was on for about 2.5 hours. One problem is my subscriber count is below 1,000, and YouTube limits your total viewership, I believe, to the number of subscribers plus an additional 100, I think. So not everyone that wanted to watch could watch. So with that said, if you haven't already, I'd appreciate the subscription and sharing with your friends and family and neighbors what this channel's about. Primarily warm season storm chaser, but I figured this year we'll give winter a go and see what you guys think. Obviously, Iowans love the weather or hate it, but they love to talk about it and gripe about it. So passing a school here in Johnston, but ain't nobody there. See the temporary stoplight swaying in the wind. I will say I'm glad I asked for some wool socks for Christmas. Toes are a bit chilled. We'll go through some roundabouts here. That'll be fun. Welcome if you're just tuning in. You're on the southwest side of Johnston, Iowa, which is a northern suburb of Des Moines. Travel's not advised. The nearby portion of the interstate, I-3580, between the East Mixmaster and Highway 141, which we are approaching. There were several accidents. I did see Ankeny sanitation garbage truck that was off on the shoulder. Looks like likely had an incident. Yeah, I'm actually allowed to work from home today as well. Playing a little early hooky, I guess, but I will have to go back at some point. And just look at the snow and everything coating the back of this plow and ice treatment truck. Thank you, Iowa DOT. Appreciate it. All your hard work. The Grimes portion of 141 looks pretty good at the moment. Probably the cleanest road I've seen in the last 24 hours. Well, 12 hours, I guess. This highway would be packed right now. Oh, you mentioned the mile-long bridge over Saylorville Lake. That bridge and the bridge over Lake Red Rock. Man, my heart just races every time I go over it. It freaks me out driving over that large body of water with, guide rails that are no higher than what you have here on this bridge. One, I don't know how to swim, but yeah, I do not enjoy that on a normal day. Definitely wouldn't take it on a day like today unless I absolutely had to. And with this wind, that's a no-go. I don't mind tall, long bridges as long as there's some kind of scaffolding or something that makes me feel a little more enclosed, a little less likely to, for whatever reason, not go over the side of the edge. But yeah, that mile-long bridge and the bridge over the county road that goes over Lake Red Rock in south central Iowa give me quite the nervous condition. strangely enough, I was a passenger, but I drove over the 7 Mile Bridge going to Key West, and that didn't bother me for some reason. Not sure why, but there's a car in the ditch. Looks like one that just happened. I don't know if that was the best place to stop for this gentleman, but glad he's helping out. So obviously the road looks okay on camera, but still something that need to be respectful of while driving out here. So we are on 141 north of Grimes, heading towards Granger. Despite the wind, snow's holding on to the pine trees pretty well. Keeping it about, a little bit of snow devil right there. Keeping it about 10 miles under the speed limit. Speed is increasing as we get out here in the open. changed my planned route a bit. I don't particularly want to go over the Highway 17 bridge that crosses the Des Moines River. That one usually doesn't bug me. It's actually quite a beautiful sight, but I'll be going at a crosswind, and as they always say, bridges and overpasses usually are the ones with the most ice, so play it safe. Approaching Granger, Iowa, Highway 141. Farther north we go, slightly higher snowfall totals from last night and a little bit this morning. Shout out to Granger Motors, where I bought my pickup almost a year ago. Very hometown, small town feel to the way they do business there. So I guess your thoughts on the roads are relative. They most certainly could have been a whole lot worse. The snowfall totals didn't quite come to fruition. Still seeing a few cars in the ditch. Few accidents along a major portion of the interstate in the Des Moines Metro. Every day this week, the forecasted snow total seemed to drop. We got terribly excited Sunday night when the GFS model was showing central southwest Iowa getting over 20 inches of snow. And then it went down to at most 12, and then 9, and 6. And looks like at most we got 3 inches here. Not to say that should be a trend that's expected elsewhere in the country. They're still calling for over a foot in most of Michigan, just under a foot in Indiana. And then, of course, the cold affecting folks way down south. Something that, to no fault of their own, they just aren't prepared for and used to. And of course, freezing rain for that transition zone. I believe Kansas and Oklahoma had some issues last night. Not certain, but I'd be guessing that probably Kentucky, Tennessee area may or may not see some freezing rain, maybe even further south. And even if you don't see freezing rain, as the Arctic front moves through, temperatures are going to drop quite fast and cause flash freezing. Yesterday in Wyoming and Colorado, stations reported a 40-degree drop in just a matter of half an hour. Lake Cheyenne went from 43 to 3. Yeah, 36 in Phoenix is probably a wake-up call, isn't it? I am on Highway 141 in Dallas County, just to the northwest of the Des Moines Metro. So basically just west of center here in Iowa. See a little more drifting here on the highway. If this is your first time here, my name is Clarence Smith, lifetime resident of Iowa, and basically been chasing storms since my friend could drive and got his license in high school before I got my own over 20 years ago. And this is the first season where I'm really doing winter coverage after starting this YouTube channel back in 2020. Severe weather, tornadoes, that's my specialty. But so far, rather enjoying this coverage of winter weather. That opinion will probably change as somebody rear end. definitely feel the headwinds here, so let's go out and take a little measurement. Just south of Woodward. So we're up on a hill here, away from any obstruction, and yeah, I think I started the year around 80, maybe 100 subscribers. I think it was below 100. And my goal this year was to reach 1,000. The Palmer Gilmore City tornado, I jumped up to 500, just over subscribers. That was pretty exciting for me, given I really wasn't that close to the tornado, but tried to put together a interesting cinematic video from it. I'd say a vast majority of people enjoyed it. And then from there on, really didn't see any tornadoes. Had some really great thunderstorms both here and in Kansas, but it was sort of lackluster tornado-wise. But then last night, I'm just blown away. Initial notifications showed I had 6 new subscribers, but then when I looked at the channel, I jumped up to 823 and got a few more overnight. I'm not sure where I'm at now, but yeah, 1,000's a goal. That's when Google starts paying you a little more pocket change, and it opens up these live views to an unlimited number of people. So, but let's take a look outside here. Freeze my toes and fingers. We'll take a live reading with the anemometer. So looking back, sorry for the wind noise. No filters on this rig here, but looking north-northwest, straight into the wind. So our wind speed really sucks the air out of you. Feels stronger than the anemometer is showing, but whew. And then this does also calculate wind chill. And I can confirm getting the rain freeze just looking at it. Negative 36 wind chill. Yep. That stings. Alright. Let's hop back in. Ooh. Well, I tell you, I was out there, what, 3-4 minutes, and eyes are watering. This hat, 3M Thinsulate, does not do the job. Probably need to wear 2 stocking caps next time I go out there. That wind was cutting right through to the brain. I can tell you, I was out there during a period where the wind wasn't blowing that hard. It was only 16, 17 miles per hour. And I felt it much stronger than that just driving out here. I'm not that far north. It's probably worse there on US Highway 20. I am probably 30 minutes south of Highway 30. Welcome from the United Kingdom. I share some family history there. My dad is Australian by way of England, I think around Kent. And yes, I do have a distant great, maybe another great grandfather who was a prisoner that was sent to Australia for stealing a pig. Found that out doing some family history research. So, high crimes and misdemeanors back then. Not to sound like I'm encouraging anyone to travel, but roads are manageable at this point. You just have to be patient, take your time, give yourself good distance for stopping and following other people. I think the metro is a little messier just because of all the ice compaction and everything that went on from last evening's commute. Obviously, county roads and that are going to be worse, and gravel roads especially. Well, winter weather's hard to forecast. I can't explain to you why it is. Just models are kind of all over the place. I feel more confident telling you if you're likely to incur a tornado than whether you get 3 inches of snow or 10 inches of snow. Winter weather is not my specialty, that's for sure. But yeah, there is some truth to media hyping up weather. I don't believe it's any decision made by the actual meteorologist. In fact, I think they would tell you that they're against it, but news directors and general managers and people who have a financial stake, I think, encourage a little hype to get the views and the ad revenue. If you all watch Ryan Hall on YouTube, I know there's been controversy in the weather and chaser community onto whether he overhypes things. And he makes a pretty good argument that, he's trying to get eyeballs, trying to get people aware of the situation. And I do believe his live reporting is very valuable. If you watch the content of his videos, even though his thumbnails might be a little overdone, his content, I think, is on the straight and narrow and is honest and really is trying to get the information out to people in a different way, a more accessible way, a more convenient way. You can watch it whenever you want. I try to do that. More so while storm chasing on Twitter. That's the best way to get live updates as I'm in the field. Haven't really done live streams for severe weather just because the cell network coverage is so spotty where I'm chasing. It just doesn't make a good experience. But winter weather, I can pretty much tell you what's going on, whether I'm 20 minutes from home versus 4 hours from home. So the network's a little better here. Yeah, Starlink would be fun. I know a few chasers have been using that, and it's been working very well for them. Technically, it's not supposed to work well roaming, moving around, but they've made it work, and I think Starlink is opening that up as an option. Maybe I can configure, if this channel grows enough, configure a mount in the bed of the truck. Keep it a little more out of the wind there. Less drag anyway. For not having a whole lot to do in Iowa, we make up for it with the weather. I might be a little biased, but I think Iowa maybe has some of the most extreme weather in the world. We can have record highs around 115 in the summer, record lows negative 35, 40 in that range in the winter. We have severe weather, blizzards, floods, lots of floods, drought. It's not a bad place to have a channel on YouTube about the weather. I believe I'm still in Dallas County. Just to the west of Des Moines. Highway 141. Very, very little traffic, which is good news. Yeah, we typically don't see this kind of cold until mid to late January, first week of February. That's last week of January, first week of February is usually our coldest, and that's when the cold just kind of sets in and hangs around for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and that's pretty miserable. This will be out of here by Monday, and will actually be very mild here next week. Dead End Road, it looks like, is in front of me. I'm on a interchange on the highway here south of Woodward, Iowa. They probably just built that section out in case people can't stop for any reason. Hello from California. I've seen quite a few folks from that state on this live stream the last couple days. I'm sure this is something different and interesting for you. I have two of my best friends that live in LA. They've always tried to encourage me to move out there, and my little reason is two, overpopulation, limited resources, and then second, the weather just seems really boring. So I don't think I could live somewhere that didn't have 4 seasons. Yeah, I feel for you folks in the South. That's it's extra tough when you're not used to that and not prepared for it, and infrastructure isn't there for it. Well, that's a very timely question there, Encanto. I was just going to step back outside and take another wind chill measurement. I'm going to leave you guys in here for a moment. I'm going to go take a still photo for Twitter. Some little chickadees out here in front of us pecking at the gravel that was spread, the sand. It's amazing how small creatures like that can survive this cold. Just blows my mind. Unmarked officer checking on me there. It's dangerous to have exposed skin out there that long. Hand is freezing. It looks like had a max wind chill of negative 38.4. So you can see there's probably backwards for you, but definitely cold out. I don't know if you can see it. A little bit of ice formed on the glasses from my breath. So even if the roads are bad, it's dangerous out. Oh, evidently I'm wrong. That is not a dead-end road ahead of me here. That just goes to, looks like a gravel road. I'm still here just tweeting an update. Yeah, I'll be completely honest, not a lot of snow has fallen here in central Iowa. May or may not warrant the blizzard warning that's going to begin later. But I have to tell you, the wind chill in that is no joke. Three minutes out there is pretty brutal, and I'll be the first to tell you I got a fair amount of meat on the bones, so it's not for being a wimp or anything. See a plow here, kicking up a little bit. Problem with blowing snow, plow can come by and clear off a drift, and 30 minutes later it's back. And if you aren't paying attention, it could wreck your day. In case you're just joining in, we're out taking a look here in central Iowa, just to the northwest of the Des Moines Metro on Highway 141. Snowfall totals are below forecast, but it is windy and super cold out. I just took a measurement a little bit ago. Sustained winds, putting wind chills right around negative 38. Wind gusts, or wind speeds rather, were around 17 to 20 miles per hour. Gust will be likely in the 30 to 35 mile per hour range. Sustained winds may even get to that level later on here today. Most roads are completely covered. Most of Iowa. 141 here's, at least the single lane, is probably the best around at the moment. And I don't know if it's still the case, but earlier portions of I-3580 between the east Mixmaster in Des Moines and going west to 141, travel is not advised. There were several accidents, and I did see a garbage truck on the side of the road. Travel has generally been 10 below the speed limit. bit of a caravan forming behind me, so try not to hold them up too much. I was certainly expecting worse in terms of snowfall and drifting, but we still have 24 hours to go. I'm lucky enough to have four-wheel drive, and that makes stopping and going easier, especially at stoplights there in the city. And just a reminder, if you aren't a subscriber, once I hit 1,000, it may take a little bit for Google or YouTube to make the change, but currently viewers are capped to the number of subscribers plus, I think, 100. We can have a unlimited number of viewers. So I appreciate your support, your likes, your shares, comments, anything to help get my work here with severe weather and now winter weather out there to the public. Yeah, if you have animals, they should not be outside in the open, whether we're talking pets or livestock. I should find out from my brother-in-law. They have a very small farm operation up in Northwood, Iowa, right on the Iowa-Minnesota border, where they raise Highland cattle. If you don't know, those are the big, bushy, hairy, very cool-looking cows with the long horns. Not the Texas Longhorns, but still pretty long. They are built for some very cold weather, but I don't know that they'd be keeping them out in the open in this. I think you'd have to be a buffalo, a bison to even remotely enjoy this weather. And just because things aren't looking terrible here, it doesn't mean other parts of the country aren't dealing with some highly unusual cold and heavy snow. I don't want anyone to think that Iowa coming in below expectations means that the rest of the country will do the same. The weather is all about timing. Get off the main highway here, take a look at side roads, and there's a short little gravel road we'll take you on. And I need to get back home and get to work. Rare occasion I get to work from home. Yeah, good advice to keep your water running, at least at a drip. If you're able to shut off the connection to your outside hose, I always do that at the start of winter, but in case you forgot, a good day to remember that. Can't imagine a worse time to flood your basement. Looks like they put some sand down on this road here, just east of Granger. My favorite golf course in the area is just up ahead, Jester Park. They also have very good outdoor camping area, fishing pond. Speaking of bison, they do have some captive, I guess. Nice little par 3 golf course. Good place to hone your iron work. A little bit of whiteout condition. Here's the most blizzard-like conditions I've seen so far. Doesn't translate quite as well on video, but behind me at the moment. Take a look at some of these drifts here. I guess they're 3 feet high there in the ditch, maybe 4. If you're not from Iowa, if you compare yourself to Indiana, for example, we have some pretty wide, deep ditches just for this reason. Get you mounted here. So this is some relatively new development here east side of Granger. We'll get blasted here for a minute. Yeah, be careful on your drive up there. That section of I-35 especially is pretty notorious for getting pretty bad. See those drifts there just getting sculpted. Here you can see their flag there really whipping. So I don't know, maybe this blizzard will come to fruition. Blizzard warning wasn't supposed to start, I think, until noon, so about 3 hours from now. It's pretty white out there. After I work a while, I'll probably come back out just before sunset. Welcome if you're just joining. We're out here to the northwest of Des Moines, checking on the conditions. Only just now really seeing first signs of blizzard-like weather. We only got 2 2.5 inches in Des Moines. A little more further here to the north. Ames, I know, got over 3 inches just with what fell last evening. Overall totals below forecast, but with this brutal wind, it's still not something to take lightly here in Iowa. I didn't bring my golf clubs with me, unfortunately. Hit up the driving range, that'd be fun. My favorite Dairy Queen Blizzard is the Georgia Mud Fudge. Used to be on their menus, but generally it's not displayed anymore. But you can still ask for it, and surprisingly they still know what it is. I don't know if you guys can see it out there, but they still have their flag there on the, I believe, the 9th hole. Looks like it's actually, yeah, it's whipping out of the northwest still. Really hard to see. Anyway. We'll go inspect Gravel Road and make our way back home. Looks like viewership's hitting the peak here. I apologize if you're trying to watch. Obviously you can't hear me if you can't, but until I hit 1,000 subscribers, and even then it will take a while for YouTube to make the change for the channel to allow unlimited viewers concurrently. So I think north-south roads will probably be the worst here. As winds shift around later today, then it may become more of an issue for the east-west roads. Yeah, Michigan's probably going to get it the worst. That lake effect snow is going to kick in, both off Lake Michigan and Superior there in the UP. Parts there will definitely get over a foot earlier models were showing over 2 feet, but this morning's run anyway has brought that down, which I think is probably most likely. Get out here into the country a little bit more. Appreciate all of you hanging out and taking in the view. We've been at it here over 2 hours now, I believe. Definitely wouldn't have been doing this if I still had my Toyota Camry. Couple linemen out. It's another thing to be aware of. This wind could be responsible for some power outages, which, given the temperatures, not a good thing. Stop for a quick photo op here. Truck says -9. Wind chills are in the -30s. Well, we're on a east-west road, and it doesn't look much better than the north-south roads. So. The snow coming off that ditch, even with the snow fence further behind it. Again, the wide view of the camera doesn't quite do it justice, but I'll let someone pass here. Need to slow them down. Well, I just got a notification that we hit the viewer limit of 855. So I do apologize if you're trying to join. Welcome, everyone. We are out surveying this winter storm slash pseudo blizzard, soon to be, not quite sure yet. The mile-long bridge that I believe is closed is if I turn left here. Everything freaks me. I don't like going over it on a normal day. I get way more nervous driving over that bridge than I do standing quarter mile away from a tornado. As crazy as that sounds. Still very few vehicles on the road. Overall, good sign. It's been a lot of blowing snow, but it just seems to kind of blow over the road. Not to say it's not worse elsewhere, but the on-ramp and off-ramps are one of the more treacherous spots. So if you do have to travel in the Midwest, allow plenty of time. I've been driving 10 to 15 below the speed limit, as has most of the other traffic. We're back on 141 going south towards Grimes, northwest of the capital, Des Moines. This road is usually much busier. There was a car ditch here on the left as I was heading out. We'll see if they're still there. Looks like they got out. Just a reminder, more folks that subscribe, you open up more spots for more viewers. Obviously helps the channel, helps support what I'm doing. I do primarily severe weather during the warm season, tornadoes in particular. This is my first winter weather live stream. This and last night, of course. So welcome everyone, my name's Clarence. I've been storm chasing since high school. Here's a vehicle in the ditch. Which, high school for me was over 20 years ago. And my interest in weather started long before that. Right around 4th grade. Started taking photos about a year after that. So it's what I love to do. It wasn't until 2020 I decided to start kind of putting myself out there. Got a little more active on Twitter, and then started this YouTube channel. Anti-lock brakes kicking in there. And that's even with the pretty slow stop. Road crews are out. It's too cold to put down any kind of melting solution. Honestly, it might make matters worse because once that melted, it would probably refreeze. Last night there was a pretty good glaze underneath the snow that did fall. I think that was mostly due to the de-icer freezing, and then the evening commute traffic just compacting it more. But plows have been out, DOT, city, county. They were out last night, full force, and still out there now. And I don't think temperature is supposed to get much above zero anytime soon for the next few days. Don't quote me on this, but I think the solution they put down for ice melt gets pretty ineffective below 17 degrees. This honestly is probably the cleanest road I've seen last night and today. This morning before I left, I saw air temperatures were in the negative teens up in South Dakota. Those will inevitably make their way down here later today and especially overnight tonight. I think the coldest wind chills are supposed to be tomorrow morning. So what I experienced and measured even out here this morning was unbearable. It's going to get even worse. So I'll probably head out again just before sunset tonight, take some more measurements, do another live stream. Yeah, it wasn't a big snow event for Iowa. And Independence was supposed to get as much as anyone in the state. You know, Ames, just a county north of here, they got 3 inches, a little over. Looks like a fair amount of traffic on I-3580 where travel was not advised earlier. I imagine that's been changed by now. Haven't looked at the Iowa DOT map to know for sure. If you don't already, that's a good website to bookmark. They also have an app you can download. I'm sure most states do as well. Took this road last night and it was completely snow covered right in through here, so are back in suburbia, just entering Urbandale. Target's pretty busy. Not super busy, but considering the weather, I'd say they're busy. Doing some last minute holiday shopping and groceries. Leg's a bit shredded there, if you can see it. Hard to tell when that happened, but we're on 100th Street going south Urbandale, and I'm not going to make that stoplight, so I'm just going to keep going. Here in town, you have a bit more of a wind block at the surface, so not as much drifting and blowing snow. But you can tell right in here it's gotten a little more covered. You guys can pick it up, but the sun's trying to shine through the stratocumulus here. Stratus, altostratus. Yeah, altostratus. We are pretty used to this in Iowa, as you said. We haven't really had much of a snowstorm yet, so people are probably still getting their winter driving skills back to memory, but the storm will definitely be a lot more impactful for southern states. And looking at videos from yesterday, Mountain West was pretty gnarly. in Des Moines and feel the need to get out, just take your time. You can get where you're going. Just remember, it's going to take longer to stop. We really haven't had a hardcore blizzard in central Iowa since 2009, which happened to be the first year I moved here. Talked about it last night's stream, but I think we got definitely over a foot of snow, and the winds were just ferocious, causing super high drifts, even in the city. I lived in an apartment complex, and they didn't even bother to touch it until late the next day. It was just not even worth trying. Luckily, the shopping center I worked at closed, which never happens. I didn't have to go to work, but even if I did, I wouldn't have made it. No way I was getting out of there. And up until this blizzard warning, central Iowa hasn't had a blizzard warning for 680 days, I believe. So it's been a couple years. I apologize if I'm missing any questions. I've been focused on the road here. I think a lot of you do a good job of answering each other's questions. If your vehicle has a snow, ice, wet mode, or if you're able to downshift a little bit, to recommend it in this condition. Makes stopping and going a lot easier. If you're just tuning in, you might find interest in going back and watching this video later as I was out in the country, getting a look at somewhat more whiteout conditions, plus taking some measurements of the wind chill with a handheld anemometer. We're back in town now. Heading back home. I do have to clock some hours here yet today, and I may be out again here in the afternoon before it gets too dark. Overall a bit underwhelming so far, but still not something to take lightly. As I've said before, don't let it change your plans if you live elsewhere in the country. Just because it didn't hit as hard here doesn't mean it won't hit you hard further south and east. And if you're in warm, sunny California and you're just waking up, good for you. It stings out here. Even with the stocking hat on, when I was out in that fierce wind out there in the countryside, it sure felt like it. Slippery there. I am pretty much dead center Iowa, in the capital of Des Moines. Here we got, at least from my measurement, 2 inches of snow. May have been a little more further north than northeast. But once again, it's the dangerous wind chills, drifting snow that will be problematic. Just the overall slickness on these surface roads. So with that said, I appreciate any subscriptions, likes, shares, comments. It all helps this channel grow and reach monetization with YouTube. It's been fun hanging out with you and chatting and showing you what's going on in this part of the country. I will be doing a lot more live streams of winter weather as it impacts Iowa. The winter season is just getting started. Of course, I have my catalog of severe weather videos. Stay safe and travel safe. Have a Merry Christmas, and I appreciate all of you tuning in. But I will leave you guys here.